You're watching Mugen TV RPG Haven. Experience a fantasy like no other.
Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video. And today we got some more news, I guess you could say leaks, regarding a potential Final Fantasy 16. Now, it's been a while since I talked about Final Fantasy 16 in general as far as the rumors are concerned, because everybody has been speculating that we'll definitely be getting an announcement pretty soon about Final Fantasy 16, or just some information regarding the next installment to this big franchise. Now, to move on to what this topic is, because I'm super excited, because a lot of people thinking that Square Enix is going to be focusing more on the Final Fantasy 7 remake, which I knew that wasn't going to happen. They have their own team, like I said, Nomura, Kitase, and Nojima. They have their team to work on Final Fantasy 7 remake, so they pushed them over to the side, let them work on that while they continue to push the series forward. So just recently, a new leak had just surfaced saying that we'll be getting an announcement to Final Fantasy 16 pretty soon this summer, and I'm super excited if this happened to be true. Now, like I said before on this channel, when we cover rumors, we cover leaks, I always say take it with a grain of salt, because this could very well not be true, but this is information is coming from GameRant.com, and a lot of other sites has been carrying this as well. So we're just going to dive into the details, and from what I've heard and what I've seen so far, it sounds quite interesting. It sounds kind of different from our traditional Final Fantasy. So let's step right into it. Now, it says that the leak claims that Final Fantasy 16 and a new IP from Square Enix called Crimson Artanium will be unveiled this summer at a gaming event. Now, we don't know what gaming event is going to be, but although many will hope it is connected to the upcoming PS5 event. Now, I think that would be a smart idea for them to do that, because if you guys don't know, there's been rumors saying that PS5 will be revealed really soon, and if Sony want to win over gamers or get gamers a reason to buy a PlayStation 5, I think that'd be a perfect time for Square Enix to pretty much say, hey, here we go, Final Fantasy 16, a little teaser to get everybody hyped for it and everything. I think that'd be a smart move on Sony's part. Now, it says that there are some interesting comments about what will feature in it. It seems that the game will, as expected, to take place in a new fantasy-based universe, but this time it will incorporate steampunk elements, which I think that would be pretty cool. Now, the post also claims that Naoki Yoshida, who is considered by many responsible for salvaging Final Fantasy XIV, will act as the director of the project. Many fans will be excited by a prospect of Yoshida solely directing a game without having to fix previous issues. So yes, now if you guys are not familiar with Final Fantasy XIV, that is an online Final Fantasy MMO RPG, which I play alongside with my brothers, and I'll be posting content on that as well. He's responsible for pretty much reviving Final Fantasy, or I guess you could say rebooting Final Fantasy XIV online to a Realm Reborn, and it has pretty much been one of the, I guess you say, arguably one of the best MMOs of this generation. So it looks like that he himself will be leading the project from these, if these rumors are correct. Now, to continue, it says the leak claims that the Yoshida-led project will have combat inspiration from Final Fantasy 15, and check this out, and Dark Souls. Now, when I hear Final Fantasy 15, I get kind of scared, but we also got to remember that they're also saying that the combat in 15 was also featured in Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which Final Fantasy 7 Remake is pretty much, I guess you could say, enhanced or a much better modified, improved version of Final Fantasy 15. So, in that sense, it's going to have Final Fantasy 7 type of remake type of combat, but with a mixture of Dark Souls. Now, I'm not really a Dark Souls player, and I haven't really played Dark Souls like that, but they're a respected franchise. Everybody love the Souls game. That's why they call them Souls. Any game that had that type of gameplay where it's extremely difficult, it's very crucial, it's very punishing, but it's very rewarding once you figure out the game. Them adding this to Final Fantasy is quite interesting. Imagine having a party of 4 characters or 3 characters with Dark Souls type of gameplay style, which would be quite interesting, where you have to micromanage an entire team alongside, you know, the incredibly difficult challenges like dungeon crawling and enemies and stuff like that. So I like to see how that will work. Now, it says some may be confused by the Dark Souls influence. The Final Fantasy games often use a group of characters that players can utilize and do not share the same difficulty as the Souls games, and as a result, it will be interesting to see how these elements would interlink. Many will be interested to see how much the truth is in this rumor, and while some aspects sound exciting, others don't seem in keeping with the franchise. If a trailer is released for a new Final Fantasy game this summer, many fans will get excited and will want to see some of these rumors be confirmed. Although if this series has taught fans anything, it is that there is usually a couple years to wait after announcement of a Final Fantasy title before players can start playing the game, which is quite true. Now, I hope they don't repeat the same mistake they have done with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 15, is because we got those announcements, and Final Fantasy 15 went through a hell of a cycle. It was once called part of the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy or Final Fantasy 13 series, which never took off the ground as Final Fantasy 13 Versus, and then it disappeared. Development started over again, and it kept restructuring the team, the staff, and everything, and then it eventually became Final Fantasy 15. And then Final Fantasy 7 Remake, they announced like 6 years ago or so, and it took so long for us to actually hear anything else about the game, and we waited this long and we finally got it. So hopefully, because the rumors are stating that Yoshida was rumored to be on a project back in 2016, so if that's the case, hopefully this was the game that they were referring to. So 2016, 17, 18, yeah, so that's about like 5-6 years or whatever to now. He's been rumored about this project, so hopefully we don't have to wait too long. Maybe if once they make the announcement, we might have to wait 1.5 to 2 years, and I think that'll be fine for me. But I'm excited to see what they'll do with Final Fantasy 16. It's like I said, it's about time that we move the series forward instead of moving the series backwards. I love, the fact is that we get to revisit some of our older Final Fantasy games, and some fans are excited about the Final Fantasy 7 remake, despite the controversy. And you guys seen my video what I thought about the Final Fantasy 7 remake ending, but I would love to see them move forward, because Final Fantasy 13, it seemed like they were stuck on 13 and 15 for a very long time. I don't really count 14. 14 is its own thing with the whole MMO. But when it comes to like a single player experience Final Fantasy game, 13 was around for a very long time, and then 15, so I would love to see some new characters be introduced to a new fantasy world, and I would love to see what new gameplay mechanics they'll add to Final Fantasy 16, especially if they're going to have a class system, or you'll be able to customize your characters to fit the playstyle that we enjoy. So I'm looking forward to see what they come up with. So that pretty much wraps up this video. What do you think about this potential Final Fantasy 16 rumor of an announcement coming later this summer? Do you think it may happen, or do you think we wait off from ever hearing about a Final Fantasy 16? So definitely leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. It definitely helps me out in the algorithm. And also, you want to hear more news related to Final Fantasy, hit that bell to be notified. This is MugenLord signing off. See you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below, and don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.